Hello, this is Tawana Freeman with the Black Life Coaches Network, the #1 life coaching and personal development resource for the Black community. On today's show, I have Dr. Alvin Perry, an inspirational speaker and successful businessman. But one of the things that you should know about him is that he's the author of 6 different books. His most recent book, or his recent release, is The Circus Act: Unleashing the Entrepreneurial Spirit in You. This particular book is about overcoming psychological barriers to success. And in today's interview, we talk about those psychological barriers, the success and failures on the road to establishing your presence in the business world. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll talk on the other side. This is Tawana Freeman with the Black Life Coaches Network. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of BLC TV. Now, one thing that is absolutely important for you to know, that there are some dynamic speakers in our community. A lot of these speakers you guys have not heard of. It's only simply because you don't see them on, national television. You don't see them on, broadcasted cable. But that doesn't mean that they don't exist. So it's my responsibility to present to you some of the best and brightest in the Black community. So today we are privileged to have with us the one and only Dr. Alvin Perry. Hello, how are you today?
I'm absolutely fabulous. I was just wondering, who were you speaking of when you were in that introduction?
I love the humbleness of our community. It's absolutely you. You deserve every compliment, every accolade that's coming your way. You are a businessman. You are constantly giving back to the community. They're seeing your footprint is just not with us. Your footprint is international.
Well, I'd like to start by providing you with a quote, and that is to keep your feet moving. You're one step away from positive change. Quitting is a choice you do not have to make. And I would say that is the foundation of who I am. Like most of us, we've overcome life's challenges and issues, or I don't want to say most of us, but some of us have overcome life's challenges and issues, and we keep pressing, we keep pressing, we keep pressing. So the foundation of who I am is I just want to be able to leave my mark on this world, to know that I was here. I want to make my children, family proud. I wanted my father, who's no longer with us. I want to carry his name with honor. And I just want to be that person. And when I leave here, they can say, you know what? He made a difference.
Right. And you are absolutely making a difference. And I know it's your passion to, give as much as you can to community, wisdom and knowledge to help, encourage our young people, especially our college age youth and young adults. You're a professor. You spend a lot of time working at the collegiate level, but you also in corporate America, helping corporations understand the business mindset that's necessary to move business forward and to change the bottom line in their revenue stream. So you're really just full scope. So, today I just ask you to just enlighten us on our platform here and give our audience some of that good advice, because so many up and coming entrepreneurs, we know many startup businesses, so many people who are okay, this is my opportunity to follow my dream and my passion and create my own business. What type of advice would you give to someone similar to yourself, young, bright, and ready to roll? What would you say to the up-and-coming entrepreneur about not giving up and keeping their feet moving?
I guess the first thing I would say is what should drive you is your passion. I never focus on the money. I look at what I enjoy, what I think I'm good at. And based on that, I kind of have a model, and I go through what's the problem, what's the solution, and who's going to pay for it. Before I do any real serious mind share, really any serious expenditure of resources, I kind of take it through that model, to identify, is this really an opportunity? But once I get engaged, and for me, what I really enjoy is the creative process. I think everybody has something that really gets them up in the morning. And as you can tell by the interactions that we've had in the last couple of weeks, I'm just full of vision. I'm full of ideas, and I like to bring those ideas to light. And the biggest thing that you're going to face as an entrepreneur is when you don't see any lights, when there is no money, when the resources aren't there that you thought that should be. The one thing that's going to drive you is what I had somebody tell me focus on what God showed you, not what you're seeing now. Because one thing about God that is just real funny and crazy is that He will show you the end, and he'll put in your mind that the vision is so clear it looks like a Kodak picture, and you know your current situation or circumstance. But what He will not show you is what's in the middle. And I think my biggest entrepreneurial endeavor, my first one, was when I patented and invented a golf training product. And I ultimately went out and raised $600,000 in capital against a $1.5 million capitalization plan. And like many, African-American businesses, I was underfunded. But the thing I took away from that whole process, which I can tell you was the greatest growth period in my life, those 4 years, is that had God shown me the middle, I'm not sure I would have even tried. I think what helped me was being naive. And I kept thinking that the next step would be the step. The next step would be the step, and I kept stepping, and I kept stepping, and kept stepping, and I looked up, and I had raised $600,000. A country boy from Brunswick, right? First of all, I was just amazed at the fact that I had actually invented and patented a golf training product. I took something from my mind and took it to the retail shelf. So the thing that I would tell people is, yeah, we can't see the middle, but I'm not so sure we want to see the middle. Because if we do see the middle, we will probably have some preconceived notions about what we think we can do and what we can't do. And I can tell you right now that I am what I call a mental chain breaker. And I want to challenge people around me to be mental chain breakers and stop thinking and saying what you can't do, because you don't have a clue of what you can do until you try.
Absolutely. One I agree with, because if you are shown the middle, you would totally be discouraged. One, because there's a whole lot of hard work in the middle. In the beginning, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. In the end, you see the glory and all the fruits of your labor. Middle of that journey is so discouraging. If you had the opportunity to peek in, you're right, you would absolutely say, forget it, not interested. And because there's relationships in your life will change. The struggle financially, is sometimes a significant burden on people. The fact that you have stress, or the fact that, things aren't happening as quickly as you want them to. Those are the steps that will cause you to be discouraged. So you are absolutely right. I completely agree with that. So one of the things as a coach for following your purpose and being a business strategist, I always tell my clients about taking those actionable steps and creating a plan that will allow you to adjust your emotions as you're stepping through the middle. So while you were going through that journey, example of that patented product, while you were going through that journey, and now that you're on the other side of it and you've done so much more than you ever imagined, what are some of the things that you did?
The biggest thing I could tell you I did was overcoming failure. That's the biggest thing that you're going to face as an entrepreneur, is that they're going to be, failure steps, I call them, right? And I filed bankruptcy 4 times in the course of a 2-year period. I had a $500,000 house. I had $175,000 of equity. We built the house from ground up. Everything was custom. And what I did was I made myself a promise. I said, I will not let my personal financial situation dictate my business decisions. I was trying to raise $1.5 million in capital during that time. I had an investment group fly in on a private jet. They met me at the private part of the airport, which I never knew existed. They brought me into a room. Now, I was trying to raise, the capital I was raising was representing a 2% equity position in the company. I was selling a $50,000 convertible note that represented 2% equity in the company. They made me an offer of $200,000 for 30% equity in the company. And they said, you know what? Certainly we'll give you more money if you need it. Now, I probably had filed bankruptcy 1 or 2 times at that point. And I could tell you a $200,000 infusion of cash personally would have made a huge difference, because keep in mind, at one particular point in time, my wife was pregnant with my son. But I stood firm to my principles that I was not going to be one of those African-American businesses that come up with these great, brilliant ideas And at the end of the day, you own 2% of the company. Else is making all the money. You get some notoriety as you're the person that, you know, created this. But when you call Wachovia and I say, hello, this is Dr. Perry, how you doing? And then they say, no, Dr. Perry, that is not the balance on the account.
Absolutely. Which, you know, you're actually pointing out a perfect example of the famous Amos cookie brand.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened to famous Amos. You know, he ended up having the celebrity behind the cookie, but he did not own or make the money. This is an encouragement piece that lets you know that if you're ready to put the blood, sweat, and tears in, it's absolutely worth the struggle, and the reward is grand. Would you agree with that?
Let me tell you something. What people get, or where people get confused, they spell it EASY, but it's spelled WORK. If you're not willing to roll up your sleeves, you know, dive in, dig in. I don't have a conventional schedule. I probably sleep 5 hours a day. And the reason being is because passion is driving me. I can't sleep. I work myself to sleep. I can't go to bed probably till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up probably at 6:30 in the morning. So to sum all this up, all we're talking about is passion. You have to have passion for what you're doing, because passion is going to carry you when nothing else will.
But let's talk about, you know, when the passion is working you to death and there's no reward and you're tired and you're frustrated and you're ready to give up because it's killing you. You know, there is an aspect of the business where it will cause you to say, I can't do it anymore because it's taking everything I have. I'm about to get a divorce. You know, all those aspects of it. Another side to being driven by passion so much so it drives you crazy.
The key thing you talked about in there that really resonated, and you said the word divorce. And fortunately for me, when I first began my entrepreneurial endeavor, my wife came to me, she grabbed my hands, and she looked me in the face. She said, listen, whatever we're going to do, whatever we're going to go through together. So whatever it is that you think you need to do, you go do it. And and that just gave me just a sense of fuel and energy that I just can't explain. You know, I have someone who has just as much belief in me and even more belief in me than maybe I have in myself, because you cannot read the outside label when you're inside the bottle. And that leads to the moral of this. You have to surround yourself with positive people who have some vision themselves, understanding, and that my wife would say she didn't have the vision. See, because God gives you the vision. He may not give your partner the vision. He may not give the people around you the vision, but they have to have enough faith and belief in you that you're moving on vision, right? And so you need to surround yourself with people who are positive, because there's enough negative going on with people saying you can't do something. So the thing is to give you that tool, that nugget of wisdom. It's your network. Who are you in association with? You and I have been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. We've clicked like we've been brothers and sisters. And like I told you, my sister's name is Tawana. And so I have to look at our emails now, because you are TO and she's TA. But we talked about how important it is that we, at this stage in our lives and what we want to accomplish, that we can't waste time. And we need to be working with people who are about critical thinking, problem solving, and execution.
Absolutely. Yeah, because again, there are several phases of the business model. We know, you know, when you're starting out, you know, you're surrounding yourself with people that are kind of like-minded, and you're learning, and everybody's on the same playing field, you know, the playing field is level. But when you're increasing your game is shifting, and you know you need to take your business to the next level, you need to find folk who are a lot further down the road than you, that can mentor you and bring you up to that level. Every level requires another level of mentoring. So you cannot just stay around the same group and think that all you all going to rise up together, because that's not going to happen. Some folk are going to support you while you're all together, but you got to raise it up. And to happen, you have to have a model to aspire to. And that comes with those networks that are, again, thriving and producing the way you envision. And so if you're not surrounded with people that can show you the how-tos from that level, then you're going to stay right where you are, and that's a plateau. So, Dr. Perry, I got to have you back. I can't have you giving up all the good stuff in this one session, this one episode of BLC TV. So This season, we're talking about become your best self, and we're specifically talking to the entrepreneur. And if I say become your best self, what comes to mind from an entrepreneur standpoint when I say become your best self?
That means you have to invest in yourself. And investing in yourself is knowledge management. The skills you have today are not going to take you where you need to be tomorrow. You have to be a continuous learner. The reason I went and pursued a doctor of business administration in entrepreneurship, because I was committed to being an entrepreneur, and I said I wanted to be the best entrepreneur I could possibly be. So let me get a terminal degree, let me get all this theory, because I had a lot of practical application, right? But there's some stuff I didn't know. I was bootstrapping, and I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand that's what I was doing until I actually began to get some knowledge. So what I would say is continue to learn, continue to seek knowledge and coaching. You started a company, Black Life Coaches, which I think is phenomenal because we don't have enough in our community mentors and people who've done it, who've been there, that are willing to reach back and share. I was not aware of a venue like yours until I met you. And actually somebody introduced me to you and told me what you were doing. And of course, I do my due diligence. I look through the site. I'm looking at all these beautiful Black people, male and female, and all these different genres. And so there's a vehicle for being mentored. It took them 10 years. They can show you this, so you can do it in 2.
That's right.
Right. So don't be afraid to make the investment in yourself through coaching and through education.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And see, that's the way we wrap things up, Dr. Perry. That you gave the BLC TV audience all their money's worth. And I appreciate your time. Again, you're a star, and I look forward to having you back on. And again, you will get that call to come back on. I'm going to throw in another favor card. And so the next time that you are in position, please don't hesitate. You have a great one.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And 3, I went to $10,000, which was an unemployment check. So now you're talking about a sister that ain't getting her hair done. She's not getting her nails done. She's not going to do any shopping. The phone's ringing off the hook from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, Monday through Sunday. My wife didn't flinch. She didn't waver. She was pregnant with my son. She was walking around the house whistling, and I looked at her